Well, good morning. Good to see you guys again. It's a pretty high tide. I'm taking a risk even being down on the beach. I may wind up getting wet during this video, but that's not the end of the world. What I want to talk about is a quote out of the Big Book. It says, what we really have is a daily reprieve based upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So what does that mean exactly? One of the things that makes me think of is, when life starts getting in the way and, certain things start happening that get under our skin, so to speak. Things that bother us, and we start whining and complaining. Maybe we haven't been to a meeting in a little while. And I speak from experience when I talk about relapse, but relapse doesn't just happen. Relapse is not an event, it's a process. And that's a process that happens over time. So it's important that we stay on top of that daily reprieve based upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So how do I maintain my spiritual condition? Well, first of all, I make sure that I talk to another alcoholic every day. I don't isolate anymore. That used to be my go-to thing, isolation. The other thing that I do is I make sure that I pray, I talk to God, I come out here and I worship God. I give Him all the credit for all the good in my life, and I take responsibility for all the bad that I have created in my life. It used to be just the opposite. I blamed God for all the bad stuff in my life, and I took credit for anything good that ever happened. Not anymore. Today, God's the one that makes it all possible. I'm the one that screws it all up. That's part of my daily reprieve based upon the maintenance of my spiritual condition, is by speaking with God, speaking with another alcoholic, giving God all the credit for the good in my life. Gratitude is another one. And you guys probably are tired of hearing about gratitude from me, but that's a major tool. It keeps me out of the dumps, It keeps me happy with the life that I have instead of wishing for something different all the time. I love the life that I have. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And then you go, uh-oh, I didn't really mean that. Anyway, these are all things that for me are tools. Another one is making it to a meeting. I have a friend of mine who's got over 20 years, and he likes to say, with over 20 years of sobriety, I probably only need like one meeting a week. He says the problem is, I don't know which one. So I'm going to go ahead and go to all of them. He goes to a meeting every day, and he's got over 20 years. So, and I do the same thing. If I miss one meeting out of the day, I feel it. If I were to allow, and it doesn't, I don't know the last time that happened, maybe when I was traveling or something, when I was in Alaska, but if I ever let it go more than 1 or 2 days, I feel it, man. I feel it even in missing one meeting, I feel it. So, that's another portion of maintaining the spiritual condition that I have learned through the practice of the 12 steps. Another tool that I use is reading something spiritual. Whether it's the Big Book or the 12 and 12 or even daily reflections, that gives me cause to think and consider and meditate on those things that I've read. One of the meetings that I attend on Wednesday night is a daily reflections meeting. And, I have to be honest with you, it's not it's not hardcore recovery or anything like that, but it really gets you thinking on a spiritual level, because they're topics for not just to read. It's called Daily Reflections. You're to reflect upon what you've read. So it creates a pretty decent meeting. I like that. Part of my spiritual condition is balance. And I talk to my sponsees about balance quite often. You know, I do get to a meeting every day. However, I have to have a balance in my life. Part of that balance is, not going to the same meeting day after day after day, but going to different meetings. Monday night is a big book meeting. Tuesday night is a step and tradition meeting. Wednesday night is my Daily Reflections meeting. Thursday night is a candlelight 11th step meditation meeting. And that's kind of nice, because afterwards we all go out for pizza or whatever. We crash a restaurant, let's say that. And then Friday night is another step meeting at a different group. Saturday night is a beginners meeting. And Sunday night is an As Bill Sees It meeting. The As Bill Sees It book is pretty good, man. It's a good one if you've run out of topics. It's got the table of contents there with all kinds of different topics to speak about, think about, and meditate on. So that's part of the balance, is finding different types of meetings to go to. You know, if I only went to Thursday night meetings, I would only be hearing about the 11th step. You know, I'd be kind of ripping myself off, right? And it wouldn't be balanced. I would only be working on the 11th step, which, hey, that's an important step, don't get me wrong, but there's more to it than that. And so when we're speaking about balance, I like to get to different meetings. So these tools that I use, I can't just use them every now and then. They need to be used on a daily basis. What we really have is a daily reprieve based upon the maintenance of our spiritual condition. And my spiritual condition starts getting funky when I don't do those things. I heard it many times before in early sobriety that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, for me, what that means is that sanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. So if I keep doing what I've been doing for the last 16 years, I can pretty much guarantee that I'm going to continue to get the same result. So that's important. That's part of my daily reprieve. That means that if I skip a couple days, I'm on my way to funky spiritual condition. My spiritual condition is extremely important to me. It's important to my sobriety, and it's important to my serenity. When my spiritual condition is out of whack, so is my serenity. Being sober, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I want that for you too. I want you to experience the joy of sobriety. It's not just not drinking. There's so much more to it than that. It's about enjoying life. It's about loving yourself. It's about caring about other people. And it's about a relationship with a power greater than yourself. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I love you all. Be happy, joyous, and free. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.